Hey, it's Mike from Cinder Road, and you're watching Dave and Amanda on the Front Row.
I wanna feel your heartbeat racing face to face. It's so amazing the way you move your hips. You know there's no mistaking, girl. This ain't your first time, your first time. I wanna feel your heartbeat racing face to face. It's so amazing the way you move your hips. You know there's no mistaking, girl. This ain't your first time, first time.
Hi, I'm Dave Bayne, and you're watching another episode of The Front Row. I'm flying solo tonight, no co-host, but that's okay because I'm the prettiest of the two. I don't care what anyone says, I'm prettier than Amanda and I'm prettier than Ryan. But I'm not completely solo. Tonight we've got the two executives for Potomac Records, and if you've been watching the show, you'll know that we've had a lot of their artists on, Driven Livid, Rebelicious, and Jason Dean. So it's a real treat to have Pete and Mike from Potomac Records. Some people think Pete's my twin brother. We get confused for each other out in public,
I got a hat.
but he might actually be prettier than me. So
Not
without
Amanda, though. So how does that work if I'm prettier than you, but you're prettier than Amanda?
I don't know. I didn't think there would be math involved. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Pete and Mike from Potomac Records. We'll go ahead and start with Mike. Mike, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Mike Bailey, Vice President, Potomac Records, also drummer with Downtime, with this band we do with Pete, and we'll talk about that.
Okay, Pete.
I'm Pete Evick. I like Van Halen a lot.
We have Kiss mugs.
I like Kiss a lot, too.
Well, guys,
my right arm likes Van Halen a lot. My left arm likes Kiss a lot.
I feel like I've known Mike for a little bit. Pete, I just met you tonight. I feel like I've known you, though, for a while because I've had so many of your artists on, and they tell me so many good stories about you and what a great label Potomac Records is to be on, which you can find at potomacrecords.com. Is that right, Mike?
That's correct.
These guys are a local label, and I think, from talking to them earlier, their goal is to groom local musicians. They handpick these guys, and with their combined music experience, they try to bring these guys along and see if they can't make it to the next step. You want to elaborate a little bit on that, Pete?
Sure. It's kind of exactly what you said. It's kind of a grooming thing. I could go on, but what most people have done now, a lot of artists, because of the internet, I like to explain that the internet came and everybody decided, well, I don't need to play locally anymore because I can just find all my fans that like the same kind of music I like all over the world, and I'll target them and they'll buy my music. And me and Mike were victims of that. Our first band, Some Odd Reason, got signed together right when the internet happened. I mean, the record was coming out when MP3s were coming out, and all of us were very attack the internet, and our attitude was like, well, let's just go on the road and play to the fans that might want to hear our music. We don't need to play locally anymore. Well, here it is, it's 12 years later, and my experience has shown me that that's not true. That to be successful, you have to do the Dave Matthews or like Poison or those guys did in the 80s. It's a grassroots thing. You start in your area and you infect and spread the disease. And a lot of people have forgotten that, like I said, because of the internet, and I want to come back and I want to find these artists that are passionate, regardless of their age, regardless of their image. I want to get back to the music, what the music is about, and explain to everybody that you have to start this locally. And you have to win your fans over one at a time.
And Pete, that's how it used to be when you and I were growing up.
Yes.
You started and you infected. And I'm like you guys, I hated the whole internet thing other than the fact I could get more music easily. But I miss the days, and people hear me talk about this on the show, I miss the days of riding to Penguin Feathers on a Tuesday to go up there and look at the new releases.
Right.
And see what's going on locally. And it's just, you just don't have that ability anymore. And the thing I dig about your guys' label is you focus on local musicians, you do some cool marketing stuff. One thing I do miss, though, is the CDs. I love having CDs. I have a huge CD collection, as everybody knows. But you guys, you're doing something different, and you're focusing on the local thing and spreading out rather than what you said, what music has become. And I really dig that. And I dig the fact that you have such a diversified group of guys. You talk about Driven Livid and Rebelicious couldn't be more different.
Yep.
But,
Except what's similar is
their passion, I think.
and they're good songs.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
At the end of the day, I will always be a songwriter, despite being a executive of my own record label, despite being a touring guitar player. My art and my passion is songwriting, and good songs are good songs. I've always been, you can take a song from the 70s and make it sound like an 80s song, a 90s song, or a current song, a pop song. You can do anything with production, but a good song's a good song. And the one thing,
And a crap song's a crap song.
you can't fix it.
Absolutely.
You can't. If a bad song's a bad song, you're right. And the one thing that I believe in with our artists is I believe they're good songs. I truly believe it's good songs. And that's the other thing with you and me. We're talking before we start taping. Instead of releasing 12, 15 song albums, the model of us releasing these 5-song EPs is important to me because we can sit down and focus on the good material. The old days, the one thing about CDs, there used to be filler.
Yep.
And I don't want any filler. I would rather focus and know that we have great material.
And that's one of the things I've noticed about what you guys do with your label is you do these events. Hey, we're going to have a new, especially Rebelicious and Trey. Hey, we're going to have this event. We got our new Cold Bud Light song. Come out and get one of our, downloads. We're having this big event. We're premiering a new song, and that's what you do. You make everything an event. I mean, what I really like about you guys is you get it. You do the whole packaging. It's not just about everybody has songs. Everybody can play their instrument.
Right.
But the way it is, you got to market.
Sure.
And I like the way
Yep.
you guys have a different take on things. And Mike, I'm going to turn it over to you for a minute because you've got the prizes in front of you.
Yep.
Why don't you talk a little bit about the marketing strategy and the Go Green, Go Digital aspect of Potomac Records?
Like Pete said, what we're doing is we're starting locally. We're building it right here in DC, all the local bands. And basically, with technology and the internet, instead of doing CDs, we're doing USB drives. So you can see that. You guys get a flash of that. Between the USB drives, online downloading, and there's a couple other things we got going out now, like the iTunes gift cards that we're going to be distributing locally. That's kind of in the plans right now. But the main thing is, it's a business, and a lot of bands, they're so focused on just the playing, they don't know how to sell themselves. And that's where we assist through the experience we've had as musicians, to kind of help teach them and show them the ropes as far as what they need to do. We can release it, but they need to get out and sell it also. So,
Yeah, and you guys, no offense, but you're a little bit older than your artists on your label, so you've
Sure.
been through the school
Yeah.
of hard knocks, so you know what to do, what not to do.
Right.
I mean, Pete, I've heard about you for years, and this is the first time we're meeting. I'm quite sure you haven't heard about me, but
Actually, I have.
But I've known about you for years, so why don't you tell us a little bit about your history and coming up through the local scene?
Oh, geez. It's almost folklore to the people that follow my music. But I was 5 years old. My mother basically wanted me to be the next Elvis. And she basically encouraged me to play music. But at 5 years old, I didn't get Elvis. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So what do? Born in 1972. I'm going to show you my age. By the time I had a guitar in my hand, it was 1978, and there was Kiss.
Who were the biggest band in the world in '78?
The biggest band in the world.
Absolutely.
The first, I remember hearing "Shock Me" off the Love Gun record, and from that moment, my life changed. There was not a. That was it. I don't know why it was "Shock Me." It wasn't. That's not the first track on Love Gun.
No.
But for some reason that was the first one I listened to. I heard the drum, and I got goosebumps still talking about today. It changed my life, and I always say, and I'll ask, this is live or whatever. Am I allowed to say whatever I want, or is this bleeped out?
Say whatever you want.
Anything I want. So the important thing to me is that at 5 years old I had no idea what pussy and money was. So at 38 years old, I can look you in the eye, being through everything I've been through, including being part of the hit show Rock of Love, where all those chicks are around, and I can look you in the eye and tell you, I do this for the right reasons, and that's why I've been successful and why I'm here. I truly...
The love of the music first.
Despite the fact that I've been very fortunate in pop culture in the last few years, and being, Brett Michaels' right-hand man, I've seen and done some things most people don't dream of doing. But at the end of the day, despite Rock of Love and despite all that stuff, my heart still loves my guitar, and I love the riff.
And I'm the same way. I have a love of music. I'm not a talented musician. Like I was telling you before, I became a critic because I'm a failed musician. And to be honest with you, both pussy and money hate me in this life. All I've got left is the music, man.
Right.
At the end of the day. And I have a similar story about Kiss. I saw them on the Paul Lynde Halloween special when I was 6 years old.
Wow.
And my mother, for my birthday that following year, got me the 8-track of Alive 2. And just visually, you know, I didn't know who played what. You
when
look
you
at
opened
it.
up-
It was an 8-track. There was no opening up.
the
I just
8-track.
saw the guys, and I was like, this is really cool. And it changed my life forever. And my dad is quoted as saying, if I knew you'd turn out like this with this Kiss shit, I would have nipped it in the bud then.
right.
But I mean, it's my life. I mean, like I said, I don't play an instrument, but I do this show because what we do like to do with the shows, people know we like to focus on local music. I mean, this show combines my love of smart-ass comments and music, which you know,
is
for me is
wonderful.
heaven.
Which is wonderful.
So,
But
I totally get what you're doing, and I totally get what you're doing with the label. And to me, and I didn't mean to cut you off there, but to me, it seems like you guys go out and you handpick these guys, and I think that's really cool.
I've always been, as Mike will tell you, I've always been. It's very important, everything I do, to be with someone and something I believe in. I can't fake it, man. I don't fake it in any way, shape, or form. And so, with that being said, I can't just say you're a local band. I'm not going to go to the hottest local band and go, you're the hottest local band, I have a record label, let's do something. I'm more likely going to pick the underdog and do something with them. But it just has to be something I believe in, you know. And so I do handpick these guys. And Mike's got our second tier of artists is most of what Mike's picked. And we're going to put our heart and drive in what we've learned already from this first. We've already learned some critical lessons on this label.
Absolutely.
And we're going to, you know, fix all that with these other artists and then revamp what we've done with these new artists. It's a learning process where we're trying to pioneer the business, but you know, I do handpick them. It's never going to be about the cute singer. It's never going to be about the trendy thing. And I would pick the fat ugly guy or the just to
will you
prove a
sign
point.
me?
Just, you know,
I have no talent, but I'm fat and ugly.
just to prove my point. You know what I'm saying? Just to prove my point. I've always dreamed, to be honest with you, I have dreamed of somehow releasing an artist that nobody ever sees.
Yeah.
Like, I used to have dreams of having a band perform live behind a curtain. I think somebody's done something similar and just see the shadows. But I mean, I'm talking about playing the
Well, that's what
stadiums.
Pink Floyd wanted to do, or they did do with the wall, sort of.
Yeah.
in a
Tool
sense.
do something like that too? Behind the silhouette.
You
thing.
might be right.
Yeah.
But to me, that's taking Kiss to the next level. With not makeup, you never get to see them, ever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's funny because, like I said, I've known Mike for a while now, and this is how I know you guys are legit. Is Mike and I will be at a show, a few cocktails later, whatever, and we'll look at a band, and he and I can break it down, and he'll be like, "That guy has it, that guy doesn't have it. Here's what they need to do." Blah blah blah. You know. And Mike and I have always been on the same wavelength. We talk about different bands, and Mike will go, "That guy has it," and I go, "I agree with you." And then we break down, you know, what it takes to have the whole package. I mean, isn't that what we do, Mike?
Sure.
Absolutely. You knew who has it? Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan Murphy, who's been on this show. We talk about that all the time. We're like, he
Absolutely.
has it. That guy's a rock star. He
Agreed.
has it. And it's not something like Mike, you and I talk about. It's not something you can teach somebody. You either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
true. You're born with it.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
Yep.
we always say that about Ryan. I told Ryan that once on one of our shows. Like, Mike and I have been watching you a lot.
And, you know,
I think it
What was
freaked.
he, a civil engineer?
I think it freaked them out.
it's funny.
We were watching you.
It's funny you say that whole "you're born with it" because the idea of being a rock star is so many different things. You know, David Lee Roth, he's a clown.
I'm actually reading his autobiography right now. It's excellent.
The
If you haven't
Crazy from
read
the
it.
Heat
If you haven't read it.
autobiography?
Yeah, if you haven't read, yeah.
You understand that that's older than most of our
Yeah.
artists, right?
Yeah, I know.
You're just not getting to it?
Yeah, man. I'm weird like that. Like, you know, I'll
Can I
miss
tell you something?
What?
I've never read it.
You got to read it.
I read parts of it, and I got to the part about the T-shirts and them, you know, making their own T-shirt company. To have you gotten to that yet?
No, but I think it's cool the way he talks about the culture he grew up in
Sure.
and why he incorporated this, that, and the other. And
Sure.
he talks about, you know, this is what was really happening behind people doing the twist and stuff like that. I thought that was cool.
He's a smart dude.
Yeah,
But-
I was blown away. I was like, oh my, did he write this?
But my point about being born with it or not, the idea of being a rock star doesn't mean that you're David Lee Roth or you're, you know, you look at Dave Matthews, one of the biggest rock stars on the planet. He's nothing like David Lee Roth.
I got to be honest with you, I'm not a fan.
I'm not a
I don't
big
like it.
fan either, but he sells out stadiums.
But you know what? And this is no insult to Dave Matthews because I know he's an accomplished musician. To me, Dave Matthews is college boy frat music. And to me, and once again, I mean, no insult to Dave Matthews. I just feel it doesn't have heart.
Sure. Now, would you agree that
The young
maybe
people buy the music too.
Would you agree though that maybe you just don't get it?
Maybe I just don't get it.
'Cause
but I think I get a lot of things.
I understand that. I got to be honest with you. When it first came out, I couldn't understand it at all. Over the years, like for instance, his song "Crash."
Mm-hmm.
To me, right now, it's one of the most genius songs I ever heard.
I'll, on your recommendation, I'll check it out.
I'm hearing it now differently than I heard it 15 years
When it came
ago.
out, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, maybe what my biggest problem with Dave Matthews is I was always the weirdo in school. You know, even though I played sports or whatever, I was the guy who wanted to wear black nail polish.
Sure.
I was the guy who wanted to grow his hair long and dye it blonde. And people didn't get me, you know,
Right.
especially growing up when I grew up. And, you know, I wasn't in LA, I was in Northern Virginia. And to me, rock and roll was always more than just the music. It was a lifestyle, it was an attitude. You know, kind of like how we talk about Motorhead.
Yep.
Motorhead's, you know, you know, you see me wearing my Motorhead shirt.
I almost wore a Motorhead.
I said
shirt for you.
Motorhead's a way of life. You know, I always say that to you.
Absolutely.
It is though.
And
It is.
but to me, this is
Absolutely.
and this is what I'm going to say. The thing with Dave Matthews is, to me, it was the guys that were into it were my friends that weren't really into music and didn't have my passion for music. They listened to it because it was the cool thing to do.
I understand
I
that.
always listen to stuff that because this affected me emotionally and this changed my life. These guys are doing it because it's cool to listen to at a cake party, and I think that's what gives me the attitude about it.
I
Yeah.
need to agree with you 100% on that. 100%.
Thank you.
And I was not a college kid. I'm a blue collar worker. My dad was a auto mechanic, and I didn't get it. But that doesn't mean Dave didn't get it. Dave himself meant every word he said.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect for him. I mean, like, I went to Georgetown.
Sure.
Talk about the preppiest place in the world, and I had Bon Jovi here.
Right. Still
And-
do.
Yeah, well,
More of,
Still do.
More of it than
but I had, you know, the perm and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and people would look at me like, "This is Georgetown. What are you doing?" And you know, that's
Right.
You know, are you in a band? No, I just like to look this way.
Yeah.
I like to look. You know.
You know, I lose my train of thought a lot, so I want to get back to a couple things that you said that I just want to touch base on. Earlier in the beginning of the show, you mentioned how you miss CDs, and you and me both being Kiss fans, I'm not going to deny that I miss opening up my record and getting a poster.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I miss all the lyrics and stuff, but what I want to offer is, and I know you touched on it when you were talking to our guy Jason Dean, what I want to offer eventually is, you know, you will get all that stuff and more, but you'll download it on your own so that we don't print 1 million posters and 500,000 go to
And
waste.
we did talk about that in the interview. But I got to tell you, and Phil, our producer, will tell you this. I have a room. It's my dining room in my home. Is wall-to-wall CDs. And to me, that's like my trophy room.
Sure.
It's my kills. Look at this. I can grab this. I can grab this rare one. Look at this Doors CD I got from Europe that's only
Sure.
available in Europe. That's my trophy room. People go out and shoot animals and hang
I
their heads
got
up. I go out and buy rare CDs and go, look at this, man. Check this out. This is fucking crazy.
I agree. I've thought
You know?
in my studio, I've thought about lining the walls with my vinyl. I thought about doing that. That'd be cool.
That's
yeah.
my trophy room.
I
you know,
get it.
Besides all my useless Kiss memorabilia.
Mine.
Real quick, just to let you know, as far as like the USB technology with digitally downloading, there's actually 45s that you can buy and have made. And when you buy it, comes with like a serial code to download it on your computer. So you can buy it. So if you were old school
Right.
and you want to be able to play it on this, you can do that, but you also get to download it.
No, I mean, I totally get. I mean, your guys' logo, your motto or whatever. Get me wrong, is "Go Green, Go Digital," right?
Yep.
And I totally get what you guys are doing, and I think it's cool. Just for an old guy like me,
Sure.
it's like I like that. You know,
But I'm
like my
close
trophy
to your,
room.
I'm close to your age, and I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
But I also.
But most people don't feel like I do, and the kids certainly don't feel like I
Right,
do.
right.
And you know, let's be honest, kids buy music.
Yep.
Sure, and
Yep.
and while we're being honest, the truth of the matter is, we will, without a doubt, in the next few years, the end of CD is here. You know,
I know.
you can't fight it.
I know, you're right.
So in a good business model, regardless of your record company or not, in a good business model, you want to look at the future. Don't get me wrong. Right now, our record label, and Mike and me have had this discussion, we could be a lot more profitable instantly if we press CDs. I get that, if it was about the money. I'm looking at 10
I like your
years down
business.
the road.
I like your business model.
Yeah, I just because you discussed that, I get it.
Yeah.
I miss CDs, but what I'm looking at is a business point of view and where the future's going. And,
Yep.
and like
You're
I
looking at the future, not the past.
and like
I totally get it.
And I have 2 children of my own, and I just say this in a lot of interviews. There's some things it's hard for me to give up. I'm a muscle car driver. I'm gonna burn my $5 gallon of gas at
His Mustang.
there's nothing I can do about it. It's what my dad worked for Ford my whole life. It's what I'm going to do. So in my heart, to offset that for my children in the future is however I can go green. I'm not a tree hugger by any means, and I know where we're coming from. It's a trade. It's in my heart. It's the balance. I'll go green here so I can drive my muscle car. You get where I'm going with that?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, man. It's a give and take.
background.
Well, we've been talking about you guys' label, but you guys are musicians too, and you guys still play out. I know I've seen Mike with Into the Now,
Yep.
playing drums. I was rocking out with his band. And if you don't know already, Pete plays with Bret Michaels of Poison. He's his right-hand man when he goes solo. Is that fair to say?
I would say so. Yeah.
But you guys have just started a new band together, right?
Yep.
That you guys are doing. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, Mike?
Sure. We got Downtime, which is it's a 5-piece acoustic rock band, which we're covering every single cover we can think of. Van Halen. That's all I can think of is Van Halen and Kiss.
Why
are you guys doing to me?
Why is that all you guys think of?
Van Halen and Kiss.
I hope you know more. You got to show tomorrow night.
We'll be good. We'll be fine.
We're fine.
Yeah, we're fine. But yeah, it's a Mahalo Cove, and we're going to be playing through the summer until he goes back on the road. And when he's done again, we may pop it back out again. We've got Gary Smallwood on guitar, who's unbelievable.
Legend. I mean, he's a local legend.
Yep.
Gary was one of my inspirations. There's a handful of people in the music industry, and I want to touch back to my label and Mike's label, our label, and things. There's a handful of people in the Northern Virginia area that maybe you call them unsung heroes. That Gary, he probably doesn't want me to tell you this, but he's 52 years old.
Like Mike Himmel.
And he's made a career of playing music. He's raised a child.
Oh, he does.
He has another child. A lot of people have this misconception that you either have to be a rock star or you fail, right? And Gary,
You got to be a businessman or you're going to be broke.
you
Right.
know, and Jason Dean, our guy, if you want to follow a model, it's Jason.
Yep.
But Jason
Who
just
we've had on the show, and I got to tell you, I've gone and seen him live. I've hung out with Jason. Great guy.
He's
I love the
incredible.
guy. He's awesome.
but he just plays and if
Every
you-
night.
And he's willing to put the work in.
Absolutely.
But he'll tell you, and not to toot my own horn, he got that from me because that's what I did.
Well, I hear that from a lot of your artists, Pete. Not to toot. I'll toot your. If you don't want to toot your own horn, I'll toot your horn for you.
all right,
Please
go
don't
ahead.
read into that. All the artists that we bring on here that you represent have all told me that they get their inspiration, their work ethic, whatever they have from it, they get it from you.
I hope
They
because-
really do. And I'm not just blowing smoke here. They
No.
have all told me that.
And I'm glad to hear that because at the end of the day, again, I'm 38 years old. Every dream I ever had came true. I mean, the #1 video, the top 40 record, the playing at Nissan Pavilion, and like I tell Brett all the time. Brett's always like, you love this. I'm like, yeah, I love it. His favorite band's Aerosmith. Most people know that Poison. My favorite bands growing up were Kiss, Poison, and Van Halen. I always look at Brett. I said, me playing with you is like if you were in Aerosmith. He doesn't sometimes correlate.
I get it. I get
You
it.
get what I'm saying? Because Brett's Brett to Brett. You
It's
get
like Tommy Thayer getting to play with Kiss.
yeah, no.
He actually gets to be Ace Frehley.
Right. And so, but my work ethic, I'm not the best guitar player in the world. I'm not the best singer in the world, but my inspiration came from Bob Seger. Let me explain this. And there's an interview you'll find with Bob Seger somewhere where someone said, Bob, you're not the best looking guy. You're not, you never were this huge superstar at one time, but over the years you became an icon. How did you do that? And Bob looks at the camera and he goes, I showed up. And when he said that, it struck me like a bat against my head. People will listen. Go play music. Just show up. It's funny when the economy is bad and everything tanks and everyone starts getting afraid of their job, I get the most secure. Why is that? Because I can grab my acoustic guitar and I don't care if it's the last day or if somebody's going to give me $100 for sitting in a bar and singing Margaritaville. I mean, no offense, but
You got something to say about that.
no, because I heard your feelings on Buffett or Margaritaville. So I've been waiting all day to say that to you, but you get my point. Or
Yeah,
Brown Eyed
yeah.
Girl,
Right.
or whatever it is, and I wanted to touch on that. Me and Mike talk about this kind of stuff sometimes. There's one of my best friends is a local band called Junk Food, Bart Harris, who they're a cover band that releases originals, and a lot of people always have been on Mike or me or my friend Bart or even like Jason Dean. If you're really a credible artist, why do you play covers? Well, those are my buddies that are dreaming of making it big, but they're digging ditches during the day or working at a cube. Well, you know what? I am a credible musician because every day I feed my children by playing my guitar.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a weird thing how people
But
get.
you do so much more than play music. You're in the business end now.
Oh, sure.
Which
sure.
Yep.
not everybody's Steven Tyler. At some point, your star fades,
Sure.
and if you're just going to rely on that, you're going to end up starving. And
Right.
you get that.
Yep.
And you got to work hard.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
I imagine we're almost out of time. Is that the truth?
Yes.
Before we go any farther, I wanted to explain about Mike because you were talking about the music business, and we talked about the music business changing and looking toward the future. And while Mike's been my buddy for 20-some years, what's important to me with Mike at Potomac Records and why I came to Mike is that the music industry, as we know it, is over.
Absolutely.
It's completely over, and everybody is shuffling from the outside in to try to find new innovative ideas. Well, Mike has had 20 years of an incredible successful track record in marketing outside of the music business. Even though he's in the music business, he's done some incredible things with the government. He's done internationally and across the United States, not just locally. And his expertise in marketing is single-handedly going to drive our label. And I just wanted to make sure, I talk a lot, and I wanted to make sure before this is over, everyone understood that Mike's marketing and his focus is what is going to drive.
I'm glad you brought that up because
Thanks, buddy.
I had forgotten about that too because like I said, Mike and I have had a number of conversations and like he gets it, you get it.
This is the beginning stage of this. And thank you for your show like this.
Yeah, I mean,
for forum.
I just like I said, I just do this because I like to be a smart ass and I like to talk about music and I love talking. And I'm the world's greatest male groupie. I just like hanging out with musicians, you know. And I think it's probably because I was never good at it. I don't know, but it was also music was always my passion. But that being said, I think what you guys are doing for local music is great. I can't wait to see what other bands you premiere. I already like the three that we've talked about. We got to wrap this up now. Hopefully we can bring you guys back on the show again real soon.
I would love it, man.
Maybe after one of our hiatuses. Gonna wrap it up now. I'm Dave Bayne, by myself tonight, but I'm here with Pete and Mike, and you're watching The Front Row, and I'll see you guys in the front row real soon. Thanks for watching.